Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the female solution.
Good evening. I'm Chinta Strausberg, host of On the Case, and I will introduce Joseph Saunders a few minutes before I read something from Father Michael Pfleger, who, as you know, he has not been with us for 13 days. This is day 13 based on false accusations against him once again. On his Facebook page, Father Pfleger says, one of the lessons life teaches us is storms are real. And they keep coming. No matter your faith or strength, storms often will knock you down and seek to take you out. But remember, the enemy's power is limited and God's is omnipotent. So don't stay down and don't stop fighting. A person doesn't drown because the water is too deep. They drown because they stop kicking. The fight ain't over till you win. And that is why Joseph Saunders, one of the fighters at St. Sabina, is on the line right now. He's in the studio. Thank you so much, Joseph, for being on the case. And I want our listeners and viewers to know some of the reasons why Father Mike is not liked by so many people. He fought against some stores, Arab-owned stores in the Auburn Gresham community that were selling loose cigarettes and sometimes packs of cigarettes to our children. So let's listen to Father Mike. This was years ago. I covered him when he went to one of the stores, and he busted him out. He says, "You're going to stop, or I'll shut you down." So here's Father Mike now.
But you guys stop throwing all the cigarettes in there that you sell loose. Huh? You can't sell loose cigarettes, man. Huh? And no city stickers, no. You can't do that, man. Now, we've gotten 2 stores closed down here. M&M is closed today. The Bishop store is closed. Yeah. You might be next.
Give us all the illegal cigarettes. I work here, sir.
Okay, but you get a job here, right? Okay, so you want to keep it, right? Why have the store closed?
Let me get those cigarettes. Why don't we get all the illegal cigarettes?
Yeah, I want the cigarettes.
If they want to go in the garbage, I would like. Okay.
No, don't go take it. Just take a picture of it. Okay. Take a picture of it. I mean, brother, you can't be selling these cigarettes. You have no city tax. You're selling them loose. You're selling them to kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's my problem. You can't do that. You know. I know, but you got to tell the owner.
I told him.
You don't have a license to sell these, right?
He called me.
You have a license to sell these?
Sell cigarettes? Probably not.
Yeah, I have a license.
You have a license to sell cigarettes?
Yeah. How come it's not us?
Why'd you throw these away?
Because there's no city tax on it.
When I go to my boss?
Oh, there's no city tax?
Your boss called.
That was Father Michael Pfleger, and fighting against the selling of loose cigarettes in the Auburn Gresham community. I bet they didn't do that in their own neighborhoods. Joseph Saunders, thank you so much, a longtime member of St. Sabina. How do you feel about that clip, and how have you helped Father Mike? And I know that you make some wonderful digital postings on his Facebook page and throughout the social media, different levels of social media. So how do you feel about that?
No, just in that clip, I think it sums up who Father Mike is. He's bold, daring, caring, caring more so than I had a young lady I was talking to not long ago telling me that, you know, she stayed around 79th and what is that? A little bit off of Ashland, right? And she just spoke about how the only person she saw trying to make a change in her community was Father Mike.
Yes.
A white man, so to speak. No black preachers, None of that. She say, who's been making a difference? He say, a white man, Father Michael Pfleger. So bold, daring, courageous, doing everything out of love. No condemnation, no conviction, you know what I'm saying? None of that. Just, well, convicting, but no condemnation, but doing everything out of love, but a fierce type of love, Christ type of love. So that clip pretty much sums up Father Mike to a T.
Absolutely. And do you remember when he went out, when prostitution was a big problem in Auburn Gresham, and he went out and he actually paid the prostitutes to come to church, and the black preachers took just they criticized him. Talk to me about that.
I didn't know the part where the black preachers criticized him. I didn't know that part.
They did.
But this is the ministry of Father Michael Pfleger. It's like he stirs haters doing good. The same thing Jesus did. Jesus was doing good, and who was the haters that came? The ones either from the church. That was his greatest haters, from the church.
Yes.
Ain't that something? Yes. So I was there with Father Mike as he was, and it blew, and not only the prostitutes, Chinta. This is with the young brothers on the corner, you know what I'm saying, selling weed and drugs.
Yes.
It would blow their mind to see someone like me, you know what I'm saying? They think I'm just, another guy off the street. And I'm coming to, the young ladies out there or the young men saying that, man, we offered them the money, and they look like, what, you want, a bag of weed? Or I was like, no, just want a moment of your time. It would blow their mind, Chinta.
Yes,
and
I know.
Prostitutes blow their mind. Like, you a young man or a grown man, you don't want any type of sexual favors. You gonna pay me just to talk to me or just to listen to me? Mm-hmm. So again, it goes back to Father Mike's revolutionary type of approach that the world seems to hate. That's the
radical priest.
Yeah,
the radical priest. Wasn't Christ radical?
Yes, he was.
He was. Absolutely.
Yeah. And they hated him for it.
Absolutely, and absolutely, and that's why he's been away from us for 13 days on false charges. But now, when he talked to the prostitutes, they said, "You mean you really want to pay us for?" And he said, "I want you to come to church, and you get your money when you listen to the word." Some of them changed. Some of them became honest women, and he got them jobs as well. But he got a lot of pushback from black preachers. And that's not the only time that black preachers have criticized him. Remember, he just recently told us about the time when he put the mural on the wall. Christ, we have a huge picture of a mural. And I'm sorry, Naima, I did not send you that picture. It's a beautiful picture of a black Christ. Because in the Bible, Christ is black. He's not white, blonde, blue-eyed. And the preachers, 5 of them, came to him and said, "What are you doing, man? That's not what we have in our church." And pastor just took him on and said, "Well, I don't know what Bible you're reading," and he's quoted the verse and the chapter and everything. So he's gotten a lot of heat from not just white folks and others, but from black preachers as well.
Yes.
But he reaches out to them, even though they do that. Sometimes they come through the back door for food for their parishioners. Okay? And that's the part that hurts me also, because he is always reaching out to people. I have pictures of him on the West Side when they were fighting for better health care outside of then Cook County Hospital. He's been with them. He's been with them. And he believes in partnership, because that's how he gets so much food, pop-up food events all the time, not just for Christmas, not just for Thanksgiving, the turkeys and the chickens and the hams. It's year around, because he does not believe that people should be hungry. So tell me something more that you have experienced with him.
Compassion.
Yeah.
There will be times where, you talked about I'm sorry?
There's the picture of the black Jesus. You see it?
Yeah.
I love that picture.
Revolutionary.
Absolutely.
In the Catholic Church. And that again goes to why they hate this man. because you know, and I grew up Catholic,
Me
went to
too.
St. Dorothy, born and raised in this Catholicism thing, right? So when I came from St. Dorothy to St. Sabina, what I really came from was religion into relationship. All right. Catholicism, Catholic, very religious. Father Mike is about relationship. So he is like the revolution of the Catholic Church. And people get angry when you try to change a thing that's been the same for so long.
Yes.
Been the same for so long that they think the new thing is wrong. And that new thing is Father Mike. So this whole hate thing comes from a lineage of different things, such as a black Jesus in the Catholic Church. Blasphemous.
I love it.
Blasphemous. Wait, you guys don't pray the rosary? You guys don't have confessionals? You guys don't have kneelers? You guys don't genuflect in every 5 seconds? No, that's religious.
Yep.
Father Mike is about relationship. I came from religion, born and raised as a child. St. Dorothy, I was religious, very religious. Father Mike preaching the word of God, more action than word, more doing than talking, you know, which is the ministry of Christ. We talking about the ministry of Christ. So, yeah, Father Mike is that dude.
Yep, he's a radical, I tell you.
Yes,
I just love him so much. We love him so much.
yes.
And so this talk to me about this latest thing. He's been accused 5 different times, kicked out of the church 3 times. This one is by a woman who claims that that Father allegedly sexually abused her when she was at Saint Sabina Academy. Saint Sabina Academy is a grade school from K to 8th. And it's a joint. It's next to the Saint Sabina Church. Talk to me about that.
Chinta, I think that they know each and every time Father Mike will be vindicated, because a lie can't stand under the truth. It can't. I believe that their whole thing is try to wear this man down, to whereas he either feels like quitting or leaving. Anybody with sense can see that this is just absolutely like ridiculous, right? But also it's a lot of skeptics though, because you're dealing with the Catholic Church. It's a great recipe against Father Mike because the Catholic Church has been known to do this, the molestation of boys and girls. So it's a perfect recipe. But the thing is, you know, it's against Father Mike now. So to the outside, those who don't know Father Mike, it seems like 5 allegations. This has to be real. This can't be a lie to them, right? Yeah. But for those who know Father Mike, I've been with Father Mike since 96, 97. So knowing his character, I'm very meticulous. I watch people, right? I watch mannerisms and actions and all that. Seeing Father Mike around children, you know, even me, you know, a straight black male who has watched him for years. I've never seen not a inclination of anything perverted with Father Mike. So that's me though. To the outside looking in, it's like, you know, the hate gonna come, or the skepticism is gonna come. And I understand it because we're dealing with Catholic Church and the Catholic priests. So this is, you know, what they've been in the past guilty for. But Father Mike is innocent, but he's put into that mix that he shouldn't be mixed into. So it's troubling each and every time, Chinta. You know, Father Mike.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he told me like, you know, Joe, you was my voice when I was, you know, all these allegations came forth, and when he had to be quiet, and so to speak, he said you was my voice, and so I feel that weight. I feel the pressure he's under. You know, anytime you love someone, if they're going through it, you feel what you take on what they go through. You know,
yes.
And we, Chinta, you, I, the church that loves him, we all, man, when I first heard this, Chinta, it was like a dark cloud literally came back, a nightmare, a heavy weight. I felt like I was knocked down off my feet. to this day, it's just I can't wait till this is over, you know.
No,
But
I
then
know.
when
I
it,
understand how you feel because I've
yeah,
been knowing him and covering him since 1981, and I too have watched him. He is not. He is not a sexual predator. He is a he is a child protector, and he has
yes,
taken care of children. He's adopted 3 sons. He
yes,
is just, it's just unfair what they're doing to him. In fact, the last time in 2022, I got so upset with this that I actually was hospitalized with asthma. So let's take a break, and we'll be back with more on the case and Joseph Saunders right after this.
Peace and love. I'm Michelle Renee, host of Education Nation, live on the Female Solution Global Network every second and fourth Sunday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. The intention of Education Nation is to raise awareness about the literacy crisis and to offer information to combat the problem. The goal is to awaken an army of reading coaches and mentors. You will experience guests who are doing their part in the community to ensure youth in their circles are reading and thinking critically. I look forward to serving you in this capacity. Literacy is freedom, and Education Nation will offer information and strategies to help ensure our young people stay free.
We're back. I'm Chinta Strausberg, producer and host of On the Case. My special guest is Joseph Saunders, longtime member of Saint Sabina. So tell me some of the other things. Remember when we started the peace marches, and some of the supporters would say, Father Mike, we're tired of doing this because every time we come, the gangbangers run. And he said, we have to keep going. We cannot give up on our children. So we would go back and march and march. And finally he said, well, he started bringing in the NBA stars. Isaac, what was his name? Isaiah.
Isaiah Thomas.
Yes, he was one. And then he started bringing others. And then the gangbangers started gravitating to us because they wanted to meet the NBA stars.
Yeah.
So that was the hook he brought in.
Yeah.
But he always had his staff with informational flyers with services, social services. And so that, and because he got them jobs, and then he started brokering gang truces. He brokered over a dozen gang truces, but one of them was so tough. He told me, he said, Chinta, this is the hardest thing I've ever done, because he actually had to get 2 buses to bring them to the Ark, which is next to the church, to play basketball against each other. Because they didn't trust themselves being on the same bus. So he said, okay, I'll get 2 buses. So he brought them down, and then he started holding yearly tournaments. And they, instead of shooting at each other, they were shooting balls. And I was just so proud of him when I saw that. Tell me your feelings about the truces and the gangbangers. And then he got up to play against the police.
Yes. So Chinta, I've seen and I've been involved in everything that you just spoke of. So I was at the Ark for 27 plus years. All right. So I've seen it all with the peace leagues. And that again, it just goes into the revolutionary approach that Father Mike takes with his ministry. That is just so it's revolutionary, you know. Who else is doing that? Father Mike has set the standard even of like what it means to be church. That church is done on the outside, not the inside. Or just in his own words, it's like church is the huddle.
Yeah.
Once the huddle was done, action, playtime. And that's Father Mike. And so to see GDs, you know what I'm saying, against Vice Lords and all these opposing gangs and them coming together peaceably. Rarely was there an incident at the Peace League games. All love. Derrick Rose, Isaiah Thomas, all these great names, you know what I'm saying? And for the young people to see that, because some young people don't get outside their neighborhood, kind of like what you guys was talking about earlier before this radio segment, right? On exposure. I know some young men as I was growing up that have never been downtown, Chinta. Can you imagine that? Never
Yeah.
been off the block. All they know is the block, the neighborhood, the hood, where it's like your eyes are covered and you're not being exposed to things. So seeing that, Father Mike bringing all these speakers and athletes and entertainers, celebrities, from G Herbo when he spoke at the church, to Chance the Rapper, to Common, Yolanda Adams, the list goes on and on and on and on, of the change that he sets before people that have never seen it before, don't know what change is, you know, but to see it
Yeah.
brought to you. And another thing, Shinta, is in the vicinity of St. Sabina, it's like there is no excuse for no young man, young lady that's unemployed, that has a record there's no excuse for you not to be given an opportunity, because every opportunity is there. There's
Right.
no excuse. There's no excuse.
And remember, he took over the Catholic Charities because they were there for 10 years, and they said that we're not making a profit, and they let it go, abandoned it. So Father Mike took it over, and he said he did not know how he was going to pay for that, because it costs $400,000 a year to keep it going and do it properly. And this year, someone wrote him out a check for $400,000. That's faith. But now at that center, they not only have free food, you get your basket when you come in, and this is at 1120 West 79th Street, and
Yes.
you get a free basket. You walk in there and just get your food, and they give you a shopping bag to walk out of. Everything is done with dignity and grace, and not only that, but you get clothes, because I'm getting ready to bring some clothes down myself, and food, and you also have services there, mental health services, employment services, separate and apart from the employment agency that we have, which is right across the street from the church. So you're right, everything is there. It's a very holistic approach to religion and to healing as well. And he also has raised the bar of priesthood, which is probably part of the problem that he stays in trouble, because some of the bishops don't like him. He's raised the bar so high they could never ever match him, and it makes it hard for other priests. So what do you think about that?
You saying something, Shinta, like and what's at the core of that? Jealousy. You know, there was a clip that I just put out where you actually have an actual priest say that other priests, they don't like Father Mike. And why? Because he said, why don't they like Father Mike? Because he preaches the gospel. Like, this other priest couldn't understand the hatred that was in his own yard, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, Shinta, I just have I have a personal problem with this Archdiocese, the Catholic Church, and how they've been operating, you know, during this whole ordeal. I don't think the Archdiocese ever gave a dime to St. Sabina.
No, we have to pay them. I don't know if you know that or not. Every month we have to pay them.
Ain't that something?
To keep our freedom, we have to. That's why it's so important to keep your ties. When I was helping to raise my little niece, she would be so proud. She got old enough to make out of her own tie envelope. She wouldn't let me do it and put the money in, and she was very proud to put it in that basket.
Can I share something with you, Shinta, real quick?
Of course.
Just going into this was a statement. These are not my words. This came from a lady who has dealt with sexual abuse cases, and it was a victim herself, I believe. That's an advocate to child sex abuse, right? She said decades ago, and Jacqueline Collins spoke a little bit at the press conference, Shinta. But decades ago, 2003, Father Pfleger supported the bill headed by then State Senator Jacqueline Collins to extend the 2-year statute of limitations for reporting child sexual abuse to 10 years and 20 years for criminal and civil cases. Guess who didn't support that? Yes, the Catholic Archdiocese did not support it. What's happening now is retaliation by the Archdiocese, because he supported the very bill that outed them and the perverse wrongdoings. Some of the haters right now are right there in the Archdiocese. That's irony in its best. And I think she worded that so perfectly. And that's
it's protectionism for them. But they use that against Father Mike because he's just doing too much that they don't want to ever do.
That's it. And that's why in front of the Archdiocese, when this first allegation, that's why I stood in front of the Archdiocese and called them the present day Sadducees and Pharisees.
Well, you went off last Sunday.
Yeah,
and I said to myself, oh, whoa. You're supposed to just read a chapter.
And anybody that knows me, right. But anybody that knows me, Chinta, I'm laid back. I don't like doing all that, what I do. But it's at the same time.
In other words, you're not bougie.
I'm very low key. But if you trying to come for my loved ones or somebody that I love or respect over 50 years of service in the Black community, doing nothing but good, and you try to bring harm, then I'm gonna shift like Peter. Somebody called me Peter the other day. You like Jesus' disciple Peter? Yeah, I am. It's like I have to go there because they bringing it there.
Yeah.
They getting out their body, now I have to get out my body. They trying to assassinate. They trying to assassinate his name, so I have to counteract that and lift up his name by any means necessary. By any means necessary.
I think sometimes some Black Catholics, are a little bit too bougie. Father Mike is not bougie. He is not a bourgeois person at all.
Agreed.
I just love it. But I was very surprised that you did that. I shouldn't have been, but I was surprised. But I'm glad you did it. It needed to be said.
Isn't that something, though, Chinta? Because I honestly don't think they want me to speak. I really don't. I've been told back then, not to speak. At the Archdiocese, when I spoke that, Chinta, I wasn't supposed to speak then.
I know.
I literally grabbed the mic myself. And when you know that Sunday, I just so happened to have to read. Ain't that something? So it's like God gives me the space to speak when others don't want me to. And you saw what happened Sunday.
Yes, but I think it's because some of them are too bougie, and it doesn't fit in with Saint Sabina's under Father Michael Pfleger. That's all. Sure because Father is not a bougie person at all.
At all.
No, he's definitely for real. And so there were many other things that he did. He gives scholarships. He just gave a slew of scholarships to children from Saint Sabina, and he does that every single year. But the thing that I love him most is that with the gangbangers with X's on their backs, he gets them jobs.
Yes.
And good jobs. I know one he got for $73,000 a year, at the CTA. So he's partnered with the CTA. He partners with other places. That's how you help your people, through partnering. And sometimes those people don't really like him, but once you meet Father Mike, you love him. You really do.
Which is my case. I did not like Father Mike, as I told the church. When I first came to St. Sabina, didn't like him. But until I got to know his character, Chinta, everything shifted. Everything. His character, literally, I've seen his character, such as, Chinta, like when we had these food giveaways. There are some very obnoxious, ungrateful people that be out there in them lines. And Chinta, I be ready to go off on these people like, y'all getting this stuff for free. What is there to complain about, right?
But Pastor doesn't want you to do that.
So I'm speaking of his character, because while I'm ready to go off on these people, Father Mike is full of, I have never seen him snap on an individual when I've wanted to. He is full of compassion, full of love. What is it? Love, patience, kindness, goodness. What is that? The Spirit of God. Full of it. And that's why these allegations and all that, it pisses me off. It incenses me all the more. Because you're going directly opposite against everything he's ever stood for. And I'm not going to stand for it, Chinta. I'm not.
I know. I know the last time in 2022, when he was finally exonerated and he held a press conference, and I asked the question, will you seek to, in other words, will you punish the woman, the two men who made the allegations against you? And he frowned at me, and then his lawyer said, no, we're not. So he's a very forgiving person, even though he was away for a long, long time from the church. He's just like that.
That's what I mean. He's not me. I think I've you come at me, man. I'm trying to come back at you, but that scripture where it says, "Vengeance is mine. Make room for me." So, but again, I don't even know if vengeance is on his heart. He's so compassionate and full of love. I don't know.
Right. Well, we're going to take a break and come back. I want to talk about one gangbanger who had it in for him and how Father Mike handled it. So we'll be back with more of On the Case right after this.
Great day. It's your girl Asada here to introduce a new female solution show called Asada Says. That's right. Every month we're going to talk about everything I am, from cryptocurrency and financial security to good health and parenting strategies. Come on and talk with me every Tuesday morning from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. And let's do that thing the way Asada says it should be done. See you then. Peace, right here on the Female Solution.
We're back. I'm Chinta Strausberg, producer and host of On the Case. My special guest is Joseph Saunders. And we've been talking about how Father Mike is away from the church based on some false allegations, again, of sexual abuse. And we know him. We love him. We support him. And we will fight to get him back to St. Sabina where he belongs. But there was one time I just wanted to share with you. You probably already know. There was one gangbanger who actually put a hit out on him, and I won't give the name of the street name of him, but a lot of people were afraid. He was not afraid, and he eventually reached out to him, brought him back to church, and I don't know if he joined or not, but he started coming to church. And do you know the gangbangers took him out? The gangbangers took him out for doing that. And so his funeral was held at St. Sabina, and it was one of the saddest funerals I've ever attended because all the gangbangers were there. They had faces of steel, mean, very, very mean. And Father Mike at the end said, "How many of you want to stop this and stop being a part and not end up like the name of the gangbanger in the coffin?" And do you know those men stood? And that's when I started crying. They actually stood around that casket, and I don't think I took a picture of that, but talk to me about that moment.
Yeah. Number one, don't touch God's anointed.
Yeah.
That's a real word. Like, and so just that threat of harming Father Mike, and look, Father Mike done helped so many people in the hood, to whereas, you got OGs that when they heard that, it's like, oh yeah, you gonna put your hands on who? Father Mike? That's not happening.
Yeah.
And so Father Mike, I've heard it said on the streets, they call him the White Larry Hoover. Father Mike.
They also call him the White N.
They call him what?
The White N. I won't say that word.
I mean, so the street cred with Father Mike is tough. Why? Because he's put his life on the line for the hood. And so the hood real recognize real. They can only respect that. That's why I follow Father Mike, because he got heart. On the streets, he got the balls to do what other preachers ain't out here doing. So yeah, so that it commands respect from the hood. When you show heart, show bravery, courage, when you go against the grain, that attracts real. And so that instance at that funeral, yeah, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. But the streets are drawn to Father Mike. Streets are drawn to love, genuine love. I hear people talk about. Yeah, I hear people talk about, I'm at a certain age, the youth not going to listen to me. They don't identify with me, because I was speaking at a group that was, saying older. And I say, who told y'all that? I say, when you come, no matter how old you are, where background you come from, the youth recognize when you are genuine, when you are sincere, you coming from a sincere heart, you will be heard, guaranteed. And these youth are thirsty for it. These teen takeovers, what is it all about? Them screaming out for help. Imagine that. What if that is really what's happening? They gather in all this chaos. Maybe it's a scream for help. Nobody's listening. Nobody cares. They said that in front of Hyde Park. Some kids made a rally themselves because they felt like the principal didn't care for them. They screaming out for help.
Absolutely.
Nobody's listening. They just think, oh, it's a bunch of bad YNs. And who made that term? Where did that come from? I'll never call these youth YNs. No, never. That's a label that the world has given them, that they don't deserve. They just growing up from chaotic situations, COVID, no parental morality in the household, CPS, but the teachers don't care. Some, not all.
And remember, I know, but remember, there are gang families too.
Yes.
The father and mother teaching them to be gangs. They call them gang families.
Yes.
That's why we have 12 or 13 youth prisons today, and we shouldn't have that.
Yes.
We really shouldn't have that. But he's just done so much, and he also buys suits for gangbangers and gives them food for the families, because we have the resources to do that, and teaches them how to actually conduct a job interview, and then gets them jobs. And he has also sent some to college. Who does that?
Father Mike is a hustler for righteousness.
Yeah, I like that.
A hustler for righteousness.
Yeah.
The only thing that I'm kind of glad about this whole allegation thing, and the one thing he gets to do, Chinta, is to relax your body for a minute.
I was thinking that this morning.
He has to. Father Mike is such a hustler for the people. He's made himself sick on numerous occasions.
Yes.
For doing so much in the hood. So this right here, I'm hoping that his body gets to relax. Plus, he's going through it, physically. Right. So the only thing that I like about this time, if it makes sense, is his body gets to chill for a minute. Just be still. Because I don't know if Father Mike knows how to. When was the last time he had a vacation, Chinta?
A couple of years ago.
You know what I'm saying?
And he was still working. He was still working. I want you to know that.
That's what I'm saying. So
planning Christmas and Thanksgiving, and I'm sure he's doing the same thing now, hustling, as you say.
Hustling. When the last time he was on the march, I be watching this man. I'm carrying the cross the whole march, and I'm looking to my side. I'm like, Father Mike, take it easy, because he's running and isn't he close to 80 or something? Right?
77.
77. I'm talking about hot days. He ain't taking no water. He's here and there shaking people's hands and hugging, people that need the hug, in need. Hustler.
And he wears those pants with different pockets. So he's got a pad and a pencil, a pen in there, and he's always taking notes. Somebody needs help. He reaches in there and he writes everything down, and he has people call him back. I just love him.
Chinta, I know some young bodies that can't do what Father Mike doing out here.
Oh no.
I be looking at Father Mike like, I don't know how you're doing it. It's got to be God. And for over 50 years of this,
yep.
And we're not even talking about the hate calls he gets on a daily.
And the internet and the emails too. They hate. Remember the time when several white men came to the church with rifles in the pickup truck when he turned the flag upside
Back upside
down.
down. Wow.
Yes, and they said you turn that flag back up because you're dishonoring the American flag. I don't know what he told him.
Wow.
I thought he would stay inside. He came out and confronted them. But whatever he told him, they left. But can you imagine the racists coming in a pickup truck with rifles?
That's wild. That's something that I did not witness. Maybe it was glad that I'm there. I wasn't there because I always
ridiculous. And I'm glad he did that. I'm glad he also shut down the Dan Ryan. Remember that?
I was there.
Yeah, me too.
I was supposed to lead, but you have this crazy, Chinta, because Father Mike wanted the youth to lead that.
Yeah.
So I was up front with the cross, the youth were behind me, and everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But you have your black preachers so egotistical and want to be in front of the cameras and want their face to be seen. Do you know that they were in front of the youth? And Father Mike would constantly tell them, like, no, we need y'all in the back. But they wanted to be seen. But see, that's behind the scenes story, you know. But these black preachers, and man, they not who they think people think them to be. Like, really, I've seen some nasty stuff. You know, that's why, again, I honor Father Mike, and there's no other leader that I see myself ever following.
But not all black preachers, because Dr. on the west side,
right?
Marshall Hatch and Ira Ackery. But Marshall Hatch said to me that he believes that Father Mike should get reparations from the Archdiocese. Ooh. And I do believe that.
I definitely didn't mean it seem like it's all black preachers. No, it's not all, of course. You know what I mean? But, you know, what I've encountered, you know, but what you said right there, I did not know. And he definitely should.
Okay, talk to me about that. Why do you think he should get reparations from the Archdiocese?
Oh my God, because how long he's been there since what? Chinta, like I've been in 1981 and not 1 ounce of help from the Archdiocese. When the roof was collapsing or whatever was going on, he had to get all that money himself.
Yeah, well, we have to pay the Archdiocese every month too. I won't tell you how much, but it's a lot.
See, I didn't even think about that, Chinta. That's why I'm enraged by the Archdiocese. I am. Like, I don't like the Archdiocese. I don't like what they do. And isn't it ironic that where they're at in Chicago is right in the the Gold Coast is what they call that?
Yes, right, where I used to live.
Yeah. Like the Lamborghini. It was like Lamborghini, big, upscale, rich area.
Yep.
And y'all ain't doing nothing for St. Sabina? Nothing? All these food giveaways, all that has been just through Father Mike's favor. Thank God. We get it down.
I know. I want to emphasize that we have to pay the Archdiocese a certain amount of money. And if we don't, we lose our independence. That's why Father Mike is so, keeps telling us to keep your ties going.
See, that right there, Chinta. And I said back then, I felt like Father Mike should just leave and start his own thing. But he so loves, he so loves saints. And I need to ask him, like, because I know that any man that's innocent will want to voice that against the accusers. So I'm kind of like, but I think all of this and why he is not spoken yet or outspoken as he would want to be is because, it's like and they know this, it's like a line he can't cross just yet because he don't want to lose Saint Sabina,
right.
And all that he's built. And not necessarily the church, but the people, So I get it. And that's what I'm saying. This whole thing is just messy. It's messy.
Very messy.
It's like, okay, we know he's going to be vindicated. We know that time is coming very soon. We hoping very soon. But then what next? Because they told this man, we're going to keep coming for
you. They did say that. But they absolutely did say that.
I personally, I can't go through this no more. And if I
I
feel
said
that
that the
way,
last time. I said
if
that the
I
last
feel that
time.
way, Shinta, I know he feel that way. Like after this, it can't be no more.
Well,
This is the
and
final
you and I
straw.
know it, and you and I know he's never going to give up. But I fear too that it will come again because they're trying to break his back. But
Exactly.
he doesn't he's not a spineless person
At
like
all.
some of those Republicans in Congress. He's not
Yes.
spineless,
Yes.
and they know this. That's why they're going to keep coming from him. That's why we have
Isn't
to be
that
more protective around him too.
isn't that insane, Shinta?
It
That
is.
the level of hate he got from washing the feet
I know.
of an Iranian, a African, a black male, a woman, man. He washed the feet,
Haitian.
and they were offended by that.
Yes,
And
they
he
were.
apologized on behalf of America and the atrocities America has committed. He
And
simply
he had
apologized as a white
right.
man in
And
the
yes, and
Catholic
he had an
Church.
empty chair. You remember the empty chair? He said, and those for all the others that Trump has, violated and abused. That represents the others that we have not washed the feet here today.
I
And
can't I
yeah, they
can't
were
grasp
angry.
I can't grasp the mind of a hater.
I can't either.
How you can hate on something like that, on a man like that.
And then,
But
and then
but
they
then
watch.
again, Shanta, if they hated Jesus,
Yes.
for
Yeah.
sure, I shouldn't be surprised.
No, you
If
shouldn't
they
be
hated
surprised.
the Son of God, I mean, of course they go hate, somebody who's trying to emulate him, be Christ-like, of course.
And then
And
every
who
day,
other than the Catholic
and,
Church
and
for him to come
and
for them to
every
come after?
every Sunday they listen and watch the service, and they call the Archdiocese and complain about his sermons, and that's why at the end he'll say something to them, pointing up to where the internet is. I mean, it's absolutely insane.
Haters
The
gonna
amount
do
of
what haters
hatred
do.
that he has to do, and then, but the youth need him, especially the black youth. They need him. And I remember one of them, Asa. I don't remember his last
Yeah,
name.
I
You
know
know
it's
Asa.
yeah.
Well, he had gone to prison for selling drugs,
Mm-hmm.
did his time, came back, and Father Mike helped him. And then
Mm-hmm.
the police started harassing him. And so Father Mike called the cops in and said, "Look, this is my son. Do not touch him. Stay away from him. And if he breaks the law, I will bring him to you."
Mm.
Asa is now today living downtown, is the
Wow.
largest promoter in America. And it's all because of Father Mike.
Yes.
All because of Mike. But he took on the cops. The white cops who were harassing, trying to plant stuff on him, and accuse him of things he didn't do. And he came to Father Mike and said, "I'm trying to do good. The cops are trying to set me up." And he stopped that.
Shinta, what I can understand sometimes is how the list can go on and on of testimonials of the help that Father Mike has given to people. And if somehow he got all the people that he helped over the years, it would fill the whole South Side of Chicago. I mean, it's that level of myself included. And that's why sometimes when I see when he's going through, especially the first allegation, I watch people and the people that didn't show.
Yes.
I couldn't, but then again, I mean, should I be surprised? They did the same to Jesus at the crucifixion while he was being crucified. Who was there? Out
I
of
know.
all the people he healed, all the people he touched, the woman with the issue of blood, giving sight to the blind, where were all those people at crucifixion? Nowhere.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Or
And in
shouting
fact, I got
about him.
absolutely. And then I got into an argument with one certain minister, and it was a woman, and she said, "Well, you shouldn't say that he's innocent because you never know." And she was one who loves him so much. And to this day, I just, it's hard for me to look in her face because I know her real feelings about this. It's very painful. But also, Father Mike is an anointed minister. I remember when my father had lung cancer because he smoked. Told him he was going to get it, and he didn't believe me. And I got the call from my brother and said that he's going to die, and for the family to come around. And when I saw my father, he he was like alabaster white. His hair had grown, his hair was gray, and he was in a fetal position. And I said, I don't accept this. I called Father Mike. Father Mike came over. He did not know my father. He prayed for him. 2 weeks later, my dad was walking around talking about he's going back to work, and the doctors couldn't find the cancer in his lungs. It was gone. That is not new at St. Sabina, because we have several people, including myself, who had cancer. I had stomach cancer at 15% survival rate, and he prayed for me, and I had the operation. They removed it, came back 2 weeks later. I went and they took the rest out, sent me home with no prescription, no pain pills, and I've been cancer free ever since. You cannot tell me this man is not anointed. We'll take our last break right after this. This will be back with more of On the Case with Mr. Joseph Saunders. We'll be back with more right after this.
Brother, in which we're doing this documentary for Douglas Robinson, your death will not be in vain.
He was a heck of a great dude. And I love Doug. Doug loved me.
Just being around him, he had a good spirit. He was a healing person.
They are there.
Get SROs back.
When you give to the poor,
should not be forced out of their neighborhoods when it goes through a period of transformation.
Because there are too many people who are losing their homes to taxes because they can't pay a $1,000 tax bill.
Have you seen all the solar farms popping up everywhere? You know, the big fields with the solar panels. There's one in our community. They produce electricity using the clean energy of the sun to send to the power grid to reduce our energy costs. Because not everybody can get solar panels put on their roof the way I have, but everybody can enroll for free to share the energy produced by the solar farms. That's why they were built. You know you're supposed to be getting a 10 to 20% savings on your bill for that, right? Illinois has a goal to transition by 2050 to 100% clean energy. So everybody needs to be connected. People in other communities are already getting their savings. So I'll be by to see you because they want to make sure you get your savings as well. It just takes a few minutes. I'm Naima Latif. Call me if you have any questions. 312-849-3456.
Okay, we're back. I'm Chinta Strausberg, producer and host of On the Case. My special guest is Joseph Saunders, a longtime member of St. Sabina. And a lot of people don't know that Father Mike is also a developer. He has, besides 32 ministries, he's got a garden where they grow fresh food, organic food, a chicken farm where they have eggs and people can come and get the eggs too. But also where Walgreens is 79th and Racine, that used to be a bad place where they sold drugs. And across the street uh, and by the way, he convinced Walgreens to come there because of that. And then across the street, there was this house where they had all kind of crime going on. He built a senior citizen home, and there's a park now, the Renaissance Park. So he's also a developer. But he also demands Black employment for these Arab-owned stores in our community, where they're selling loose cigarettes, like we saw at the beginning of the show. But also he wants them to hire Blacks from the community. And they didn't like that. They protested and protested. And one time I covered him when the store owner got in his face and said, you know, you're ruining my family. My family is hurting me. I have a family. He said, I have a family too. And so he said, well, you're hurting my business. And he said, you're hurting my community. And they went tit for tat. So I want to show a little clip about how he fought and he got some Black employment. But one store hired a Black finally, but as a janitor. And he said, that's not good enough. I want him behind the counter. So let's hear about Father Mike and how he fought for Black employment from the community of Auburn Gresham.
Americans working that. Okay, how many hours a week do you work? 4 hours a week? Oh, a day. Okay. I was gonna say it's not a job. 4 hours a week. All right, man. Okay. So another African American works here too? Okay. What's your job? Okay. All right. It'd be good to have somebody behind the counter besides just cleaning up.
I wish I was there, not in here. I wish I had the cooler, not in the cashier. You know this one.
Okay.
It's here.
Well, I can help you with. I can help your wish come true.
Headache. You know, headache. If you be short, you charge. You feel me? And you know, argue the customer. You feel me? I don't like cashier, but what I do.
Okay, but
I wish I was stuck.
But you don't work here. You work here 7 days a week?
I think it is. Sometimes 60.
Pardon?
Yeah, sometimes 7 days, sometimes 60.
You the owner? Manager?
Yeah, like.
Well, we're trying to get another stores here into the community and hire African Americans to work. Now, I know you got somebody here working cleaning up, but I'm talking about behind the counter, man, not just cleaning up.
I told you, if he's a boss, bring him here, and he bring me.
How do I get in touch with your boss?
I don't know.
You don't know how to get in touch with your boss? What if you had an emergency right now?
You call him, right?
I'll call him.
Okay, I can give you his number.
Give me his number.
Give the number.
Well, there you go, Father. All right, thank you, sir.
Oh, if someone came in with a gun, you would have to do this.
قالوا يعني كم معك السوق شغال يقسموا اثنين اوكي والله معنا واحد صباح حتى عندي واحد من 5 ساعات ويا حبيبي محمود قال له ما تخلي على الكاشير احد على مظاهره بعدين قالوا يعني حمله يعني على اساس اللي بيشتغلوا زي ما تقول يعني لازم تشتغل معك يعني من السوق فهمت؟ هاي بيقول كذا يعني عادي بعدين انت يعني حقن المسؤول تمام.
It's a long question for a phone number.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Sir, is that the boss? Does he speak English?
No. I can sketch you know.
He doesn't City Hall when he pays.
I need to have African American working behind the counter, not just cooking.
قالوا بدهم واحد على الكاشير يعني من السوق يعني فهمت؟ اوكي اتكلمها يعني مشان ما شيء بعد على
He explains.
Hello. All right. This is Father Pfleger from St. Sabina. And we're trying to get all the stores in the neighborhood to make sure that they have African Americans working the stores. This neighborhood, we have about 30% unemployment. And we need to be able to hire people from the neighborhood that work in the stores. So I know you have some coming in for the cleaning up, but I'm looking at behind the counter and some jobs. All right. Well, if you need finding somebody isn't a problem. We run an employment center. We'll be glad to send some candidates over that could work. I'm just worried about having somebody in here. Well, hold up, sir. So you're telling me the reason you have no African Americans behind the counter is because they give stuff away to their friends? Come on, sir, really? That's insulting. So no African Americans can come back here and be good cashiers? Is that what you're saying to me? Okay. I'm telling you, the people you tried that didn't work, I'm telling you, we will get people for you. And we'll have people that you can interview that can work. I mean, it's insulting for you to say something like that. Pardon me? Okay, well then understand we're going to target your store to people to boycott it. Yeah, you can do that. I'll leave my number. You give me a call and we'll talk.
You see that sheet I gave you? Give me that sheet.
Okay? All right. Speaks English fine, sir.
Here's the number right here.
No, him is speaking.
Here's my number. Tell him to give me a
He's
call.
speaking English good.
He doesn't give me a call.
But me, I can tell me where you come from, you know, and what you know.
Okay, but understand it's insulting for him to say that he can't find any African Americans that were not giving something away.
All right, this is Chinta Strausberg from host and producer of On the Case, and Joseph Saunders. I want to thank you so much for being here, for sharing your thoughts and the truth about the real Father Michael Louis Pfleger. He is the real deal, and a lot of people don't like it. So I want to thank you again for being on the case.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And thank you, everyone, for watching.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiyabonga. Senegal, jareh. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.